Hi, Srivalli.
Hi, Shanti.
Today, let us see generative AI lifecycle activities for our projects. What are the activities for different services? Okay. So, what
Mhm,
we're taken first is we have taken translator service and speech services from GenAI, right?
mhm,
So, let us see them. When building generative AI products like translator test service and Azure speech services in the context of Azure's generative AI offerings, the lifecycle activities include specific steps tailored for these applications. It means
mhm,
each application will have its own activities mapped it because some of them will have some algorithms embedded within the services. That's where we need to segregate each service activities, lifecycle activities. So here is an overview of the key activities involved in the life cycle for each service. For translator service, let us see. Activities involved are problem definition. What we are doing at this phase, problem definition phase, identify specific use cases for translation. Example, real-time application, document translation, conversational interfaces. You have the clarity with this because you have prepared the use cases, all those things. You need to pull that
mhm,
into a document under problem definition section. Okay. Then
mhm,
define the languages to support and evaluate performance metrics like translation accuracy, response time, all these things. So
mhm,
yes, you have the idea. Now you need to put them in documentation.
mhm,
Next one is data collection. Gather multilingual data sets that include source and target language pairs. It means source to target language need to be defined it. Okay.
mhm,
And how many languages are there? Those are going to be there in the data sets. That is the inputs we are giving to that.
mhm,
Apart from that, the documents also will be there as inputs. Okay.
mhm.
Those come under data collection. Okay.
Yeah.
uh, these data sets may originate from sources like Wikipedia articles, translation logs, or user generated content. It can be blogs also. Blog can be converted into different languages,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm,
So these are the data collection we need to do it. Okay. Then
mhm,
after that, data preparation. Perform EDA to understand linguistic characteristics and terminology. Yes. We will see what is EDA in the this one, the full form for this one. 1 minute. Let me get into Merlin. Mm, elaborate on this. Okay, let me share this particular screen. Or what we can do is I can copy this into. um, okay, here I can do one thing. I can copy here that one. Okay, just for our idea. Later we can erase it if. Okay, now let us say EDA. So what is EDA? Performing exploratory data analytics. Exploratory data analytics to understand linguistic characteristics and terminologies is a crucial step in developing generative AI models, especially in applications like translation services or speech services. So the details are given here. Here are more detailed breakdown of this process and its objective. Objective of exploratory data analysis in linguistic context. The primary goal of EDA in this context are identify patterns, discover patterns in how language is used across different data sets, including variations in tone, style, and formality. So here, what is our service here? Translated test service. In translated test services, we don't have tone, right? Variation tone or something. Only test process is there. Okay. Then understand data distribution. Analyze the distribution of words, phrases, and sentences to capture common constructs and outliers. So basically, when you ask for translation, you need to be aware of the target. language output. What can be their output? Or we need to show it to some translator. Is it correctly converted, this document? If translator says yes, that is converted completely as it is converted into different language, then it is certified by the translator. Then we can assume it, yes, the data distribution happened correctly, completely from source, and the GNA services converted the document into correct uh, translation. Examine language features. Assess linguistic features such as parts of speech, syntax, and semantic meaning to inform model training. Normally, this is not related with our service, related with speech services anyhow. Second one is key activities in area for language datasets are data overview, descriptive statistics. It contains generative statistics such as total number of sentences, words, average sentence length. This provides a general understanding of the data sets size and complexity. It means document size it is going to measure with these sentences, words, and average sentence length. But it doesn't mean in other languages it need to be equal of this size in length, because one language to another language the words vary. One word can give meaning for multiple or one single sentence in English, if you take
Mm-hmm.
English language. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
same way other languages also will give to English also same way. So
Mm-hmm.
that is different. Okay, each language wise. The language distribution. If the dataset contains multiple languages, assess the proportion of each language and its relevance to the model end goals. Yes, yes, the same thing we are identifying it and comparing for translation. Is it correctly done? It okay. Then one to one, the translator is going to certify it. So word frequency analysis is what? Common words and phrases. Perform frequency analysis to identify the most common words and phrases. Yes. This helps understand core vocabulary and common terminology used within the data set. Yes. So whatever we are supplying the document is divided into sentences, words, paragraphs, such kind of things. Okay. Then we need to measure that. Then variability. Compare word usage across different contexts or domains to identify terms that may have varied meanings or relevances. In other language, differently it will have different meaning. And one English language sentence, small sentence can have one word in Hindi or other languages. Okay, same way English word can give a small sentence for other language also. It varies. So visualizations, word clouds. Create word clouds to visualize the most frequent words in a dataset. Make it easily to identify key terms and concepts. But we are not doing in English to English translation. English to other language translation, we are doing it. But if you are doing massive conversions, yes, these processes or standards need to be followed. It histogram and box plots visualize these distributions of sentence length and word counts, identifying outliers and anomalies. Okay, that is also skipped in this case. Linguistic patterns, n-grams analysis, analyze big grams, trigrams, and other n-grams to understand common phrases and word combinations. This helps capture context and improve translation quality. Actually, all these all are related with non-Gen AI tasks. Looks like in traditional ML data science, how they used to use these kind of EDA activities. Okay, then
Mm-hmm.
parts of speech tagging. You utilize NLP techniques to tag parts of speech, identifying linguistic structure that might be pivotal for translation or speech generation. Then sentiment and tone analysis. Sentiment analysis contains analyze the emotional tone of the text to understand how sentiment variations might impact translations or speech synthesis. See, if you are using some kind of angry words, tense kind of words, the same words, same meaning should come on another language also. That need to be analyzed it under this. Okay, you understand that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So style and tone. Identify format, informal, technical, and casual language usage to ensure the model can adapt to different context effectively. All these things I can say, these can be converted as test scenarios and it can be given to translators to verify that when it is converted it in large organizations. Okay.
Mhm.
Then cultural and regional variations. Examine how certain phrases of words may be used differently in various cultures or regions. Yes, obviously, every region has got different language notation. Okay. Domain specific terminology. In case where the dataset is related to specific fields like medical, legal tests, understanding jargon, and domain specific vocabulary is essential for accurate processing. Accurate processing in some language you may not get English words
Mhm.
sometimes. So they need to see alternate what is the method to intimate it. Okay. Significance of EDA in model development. Informing model design. The insights gained from EDA can guide model architecture choices, informing decisions about embedding methods or architecture layers suited for linguistic characteristics. So these are the things. Then feature engineering. EDA helps in identifying potential features that can boost model performance such as context-aware tokenization or embedding that account for polysemy, the existence of multiple meanings for a single word. So here the feature engineering topic will come
Mhm.
because what feature engineering is doing in reality, it is going to take the existing words or something, it is going to describe the word content, the outlook of that
Mhm.
in feature engineering. That is part of the EDA, basically. So, bias detection by studying usage patterns and word associations. EDA can reveal biases present in data, enabling steps to mitigate and counteract these issues in training. Yes, obviously. So, all these things are related with EDA. Now, we don't need to worry much. We need to see the screen options basically, what we are supposed to do. We need to follow them. Okay, now let us
Mhm.
skip into this one. EDA is done now. Okay, after EDA, there is another activity in the original document. Okay, now let us. I'm removing that. After EDA, clean and pre-process data through techniques such as tokenization, normalization, and removal of noise. Yes. Align sentences between the source and target language. We discussed that under EDA part. Okay.
Mhm.
Then model selection. Choose model architectures suitable for machine translation, such as neural machine translation models. Example, transformer based models. So that internally it is built in GenA itself. We don't need to worry on those things. Consider leveraging existing models and frameworks that support multilinguality. But what you need to do, you need to give this one to all ChatGPT and ask the what are the screen options available for these tasks. Okay.
Mhm.
Then on those screen options, you need to describe it. Why you are selecting that particular option, and that need to be mapped to these activities. There will be some buttons or icons. You need to click them. Okay. Then when you click it, it is going to work for this task. You need to identify that way. You need to map these things to those things. Okay. Training. Train the chosen model on the prepared dataset, employing techniques like transfer learning to fine tune performance. As obviously, that is part of that. Utilize advanced techniques like reinforcement learning from human feedback to enhance um, contextual understanding. It means uh, there can be feedbacks that how you are going to convert them into feedback. We have seen some three categories of the feedbacks for one of the retail data analysis: neutral, positive, negative, like that.
Mhm.
So that kind of context will come here, okay, in training the model for that. But in the document translation, I don't think these kind of things are required. Okay, only training is there by taking the document, source document, and getting the output of that by putting the conversion parameters, source and target languages. So the evaluation is evaluate the translation model against human translation using BLAU, MET, UR or other relevant metrics. These metrics are required for huge documentation services. Okay, not one or two are testing for services or simple product. Conduct user studies for qualitative feedback from real world users and the fluency and accuracy of translations. Yes, we have seen in the EDA all that features, that scenarios need to be verified by users and confirm it under evaluation. Evaluation is nothing but a testing only, model testing. Okay, hyperparameter tuning. Optimize hyperparameters. Example: learning rate, batch size to enhance performance. It means, let us say you give the input file, then you select the language translation source and destination, then you submit it. When you submit it, there will be circle will be rounding on the web page. You know that in every conversions. How long it is taking, all that need to be measured. It the rate, learning rate of model. Then batch size, how many documents we are giving for each document, how much time it is taking, or 10 documents, how much time it is taking, 100 documents, how much time it is taking in bunch. That need to be tested under hyperparameter tuning. Okay, utilize tools like Azure Machine Learning for automated tuning. Yes, that is there. Then deployment wise, if it comes, deploy the translation model via Azure infrastructure, allowing for API accessibility. Set up necessary components for scaling and managing user requests. Yes. Here, when you say deployment, obviously we can include ML ops and DevOps also for this one. Okay, we need to drill down this for further for those activities. Okay. Then monitoring and feedback loop. Monitor the service to track translation accuracy, service usage, and latency. Yes, latency is you submit the request, how much time it is taking to get the response, the converted documents. Collect user feedback to identify areas of improvement and potential bias in translations. These translations, if there are some issues, it all depends on the screen options what we selected it. Okay. Ethical considerations. Implement measures to detect and mitigate biased or offensive translations. Review outputs regularly for compliance with ethical standards. See, basically, I am not sure which translation service it is being used in this Gen AI service. Is it going to use Google Translator or some other translator services are there in the behind? We need to authenticate that kind of things also in the wording of the other languages when you convert English to some other language also. Okay, some soft words are there in English, let us say. Then there can be rash words also can be there in other languages. Okay, so such kind of things need to be aware of that. Then documentation and reporting. Document methodology, architecture, findings, and any notable challenges encountered to ensure transparency and facilitate future work. Yes, that is the thing required. We'll see only one service today about the activities. About other service, we'll see later. But what I want you just to work on deployment activities and find out for these activities what are the ML ops and DevOps activities relevant. Then it will give the list. Those activities also can be included here under deployment. Then altogether will come like a project planning. But in the planning, we need to drill down our tasks, map to these things. Just we can put them in the Excel sheet. This is the definitions for each activity. Then in the Excel sheet, we can list what are the data collections. Then collect source English documents, 10 or 5. Okay, then data sets, sources. Sources can be you take URLs of particular sites. Okay, that kind of data need to be there in Excel sheet. Okay, then data preparation is part of that as we discussed it. Okay, if there is any task related to online settings in while building the product, those need to be mentioned here. You identified some micro level tasks like settings and some other tasks in the Excel sheet. You have to see what tasks can be plugged in these activities.
data preparation.
Yeah, right. But you have to identify your tasks. See, basically, you need to work like a real project plan. Okay, the solution designer or architects, they plan like that. They don't work like a low-level engineers or something. They plan like this with standard life cycle. Then list the tasks also. Then the tasks they are going to distribute to cloud engineers or ML engineers or Gen AI engineers, whatever role it is there. Okay, so for them you need to plan it. Let us say one translation service you worked. Now you know what are the tasks and where all they fit in these activities. Okay, just put these activities and plug in the tasks also. Okay, wherever it is.
Hmm.
We need to have some clarity, right? How we can execute this kind of projects also. You got it right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So let us stop recording. 1 minute.